Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with the 1996 CD7 Accord. In the last video, we finished up the bodywork on the roof, filled in all the dents with body filler, and sanded it all the way up to 320. But now it's time to do the rear quarter and then the whole pillar. The door is also gonna need some work, but this one's pretty straight. I got it at the junkyard, so I'll probably just need to do like a skim coat of filler just to make sure it's absolutely straight, but this should be quick. Mainly it's back here that needs the work. Probably should wear this because the wax and grease remover is pretty strong. I just got to clean this side up because it's all dusty from where it sits around, and I don't want it to have like any bad dirt nibs sitting on it and dig into the epoxy and shit. So just to be like 100 transparent with you guys, like the epoxy, it has good coverage and it's sprayed really good, but there are spots where it feels, there's spots where you can feel where it's a little, where it laid down a little rougher than some other spots. But as long as the coverage is there, it gets sanded anyway, so it doesn't really matter a whole lot. You could just feel it when you're rubbing up on it. We'll be able to tell once we start sanding on the epoxy where we need to fill, because it works as its own like guide coat, same as the like in the last video, when once you start sanding that you could still just see the low spots. All right, I think we're good though. Give it a pretty good clean. Oh yeah, and I also went and bought the block too. I wanted to buy it to do the fucking roof, but I got caught in the middle of the weekend and I remembered on Saturday when they closed to go and buy it. But this was $50. It's a really good block though, because you want a big block to be able to do like a big surface at a time to get the flattest result possible. So I'm excited to use it. I got the hook and loop with the Velcro, because the other one, the sticky one, I feel like once it starts getting dust underneath, it starts coming off, whereas this one just stays. But same thing, I'm using the 180 grit all by hand again. And then the epoxy should start showing us where we need to go from there. Oh yeah, you can already tell, baby. That's nice. It's gonna give us a nice flat finish, man. See, you can already see the low spots right here. For the most part, it's not looking, I mean, it's looking as I expected. I'll just do this little top section with the smaller block. It's looking all right though. You can definitely see the low spots right here though. Look at that right here. I am gonna end up spraying epoxy over this again. This is just to give the metal the corrosion and rust protection, which is cool because like you're seeing, we can do the body work over it, but then we'll have to spray again just to make sure we cover like any burn throughs we have to the metal, and then we'll have to sand that down again with some 400 or some shit, and then spray, or probably with some 320, and then spray the high build over that, and then sand down the high build with probably 400 depending on how it looks. And then we'll be able to either seal it or just go straight into base coat. Damn, this back section's good. We don't need to, look at that. We don't need to do anything back here. Even this, that's pretty flat. See, that's why we want a big block. How even it's coming out. Damn, I wish I would have got this sooner, man, but they're expensive. All right. All right, so damn, it actually looks like we are gonna have to work this whole section. You could see all these little dents. It almost looks, nah, it probably is hail damage. At first I thought maybe they hit it with like a BB gun in the past, because there's all kinds of little fucking, look at all these little ones, and then of course all these. So we're gonna have to work all this here. Again, we're gonna leave this bottom piece, so from the molding up and then all the way back here, and then
Obviously you could tell on the pillar too. See what I'm saying? Like all these little ones right here, it looks like they hit it with a BB gun or something.
All right, I'm gonna go over it again just to get a more even scratch throughout the whole thing, and then I might have to go back by hand and like scratch into the fucking dimples individually. That way the filler has something to stick to, and then yeah, we'll be able to clean it off and start mixing some filler. And still using the crosshatch pattern throughout the whole entire thing. That won't ever change. You could already kind of see right here where I burned through to the metal. So I'm trying to stay away from the edges, but sometimes it just happens, you know. All right. I got the small block here, and then with some circle paper, still 180 grit, just so I can go over all these spots that I missed, get closer to the edges, and then I can go over the dimples by hand. I feel like this will even it all out pretty nice. All right, see how that looks. Now this sandpaper is really nice. It lasts a long time compared to that other yellow one I was using. This is the Sunmite P180. Fuck yeah, look at that. That's pretty gnarly, man. All these spots we have on there. All right, but now I'm just gonna go ahead and scratch them all up one by one. This here too. All right, let's see how that looks. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and clean it up. I think I got them all sanded down, but just to make sure. And then I'll show you guys what we got going on. All right, guys, it's looking pretty clean. It looks like I got all of them pretty much up until right here. So I think we're ready to start laying some filler, man. All right, time to start mixing some shit. We're gonna need a lot of filler. Most of it, again, is gonna come off, but you just gotta lay it down like that to get an even finish. Oh shit. Probably one more scoop here. Whew. Damn, that's a lot. I think that's the most I've ever mixed. Holy shit. Hopefully that don't come squirting out all stupid. No. That should be good. Alright, finally starting to look better. Goddamn, I feel like I've been mixing forever. Shit. I mean, I would prefer to do like a swipe this way now, but it's pretty good. I don't want to fuck it up because it's kind of starting to dry already, but that should give us a really good starting point. All right, this part of the filler, it's dry now, so I'm just going to be starting the same as the roof, 180 on the block, but now with this one, it should be a lot better. Now we should be able to have more control, and it should be easier to get a flatter finish since we have a bigger block and we don't have that small one potentially creating dents. So yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and get started. We're gonna be using the 180 pretty much the whole way through by hand, same thing, until we're ready to take the 180 scratches out with the 220, and then from there we can switch to the DA. Honestly, I can already tell just by using it this little bit that we are going to get a smoother finish because it's working obviously a bigger area all at once. Whew. That shit gets tiring. So what I'm doing right now though, I'm just trying to knock all these ridges down, and then before I keep cutting with the 180, I'm gonna go ahead and spray that guide coat again. That way we can keep a track of the high and low spots and make it come out as good as we can. Oh damn. Alright, we need to switch this out. Like I said, man, doing body work, there's just absolutely no way that you're not gonna get dusty, so it's just part of it, man. Same thing, still using the same guide coat, high tech. Now remember, this thing right here is different than paint. You can use black paint, but this isn't gonna clog up the paper as fast. It's literally just so we can see the high and low spots. So make sure you guys are actually using guide coat. Don't need a lot, just enough to show us where everything's at. All right, back to the big block. See, so right away with this one, you can tell we're doing the majority of the work, and then we could just come back with the smaller one and finish it off. See, and that's the good thing about the big block, is we're not digging into any particular section, so you can see where we have all our low spots. But that's why you use guide coat, because obviously without the guide coat we would never see any of this. So guide coat is super important, man. We would never be able to see any of that if we weren't using it. See, and slowly they're starting to fade away, so that's good. So notice now that I switched to the smaller block, I should probably get a new fucking piece of paper. But yeah, so you notice now that I switched to the smaller block, I'm still using long ass strokes. That way I don't dig in again to any particular spot and leave any dents and shit. So no matter what we're doing, we're trying to do everything, every single thing, to the best of our ability, man. No fucking cutting corners. No, oh, I don't want to do this, so I'll just skip it. Nah, fuck that. This shit takes time and there's no way around it. So like I said, it depends on how good of a job each person wants to do, but I know I'm all about going all the fucking way in, baby. Balls deep.
All right, guys, I think I'm pretty much done with this lower section right here. I double and triple checked it, and I think it feels really good, man. I believe this is actually like the happiest I've been with the bodywork that I've done so far on the car. Not saying that like the other sides are bad, but just for some reason this side feels just smooth from front to back, man. I think that big block right here actually made a difference. But from here, I just got to finish up this top section here and then up along the pillar. I do have, you could see a couple spots where I'm gonna have to fill, but it should go quicker because instead of using filler up here, I'm just gonna use glaze, and it's actually a lot easier to sand than the filler, so it should go by a lot faster.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I like working with this thing, man. Like I said, it's a lot less thick than the fucking filler, so it lays down really smooth. And this is just straight up glaze. This isn't really to fill big dents, it's just to be used as like a skim coat, and that's pretty much it. All right, I think we're good.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, man, sanding is so much work, man, but this side is finally done, all body worked from the door back, and then the whole pillar, knocked out these little spots as well. So I got the whole thing down in 180. So now from here, I'm just gonna spray some guide coat, go up to 220, spray guide coat again, and then do 320. And I guess I could stick to just the 180 because I'm gonna spray epoxy over this again, because you can see where I cut through to the metal on quite a few spots. So I'm just gonna epoxy the whole car again. But the reason I'm doing it in 320 is because it's gonna be a smoother surface, and it's just gonna allow the epoxy to lay a lot flatter into a like finer scratch, you know what I'm saying? And then this bottom section I didn't touch, like I said again, because I mean there's nothing wrong with that, so that we can just go over it with 320. But yeah, man, fucking A, so much work has gone into that, but yeah, it's just gonna make it look that much better, taking our time. Like I said, we're not cutting any fucking corners with this car. We're doing everything right. That's why I took it all the way down to bare metal. So yeah, we're making pretty good progress, but we got a little bit to go on this side, just the 220 and 320, and that should allow us to finish up. All right, ladies and gentlemen, more guide coat, because we got to be able to see all of those 180 scratches as we're trying to take them out with that 220 grit. We don't want any left behind. I mean, I guess it's not a big deal because like I said, the epoxy will still... Oh, why the fuck am I... Oh no, yeah. I thought I fucked up because I didn't do all that in the 320. I just went straight to this top half. So right here, I'm looking at this because you can see right here, that's all the 180 scratch by hand. So I was sitting here thinking if I should go back down to the 180 on the DA first and then go to 220, but I'll just try another 220 disc right now and see how that goes. If not, I'll just go back down to the 180 if I need to. Yeah, I don't know if that's gonna work, man. Like, you can still see it pretty bad. So I think on this, instead of hitting it with the 220 right away, I'm just gonna go back with the 180 on the DA because it gives a softer scratch. So I'm just gonna try that and it should do the trick. So that 180 on the DA does work. Look how much softer the scratch is. So I gotta go 180 on the DA to soften up the sand scratch of the 180 by hand, and then we can go to 220 and 320. All right, guys, after many hours of body work, sanding, and a shit ton of elbow grease, I'm glad to say that this side is done, man. This bottom half right here came out so good. I think it's due to that big block that I got, man, because that whole section just came out fucking smooth as hell. Up here, I am gonna have to retouch these because the DA kind of took a lot of filler off. And yeah, I'll just have to touch those up. But yeah, I did only end up going to 220 because I didn't want too much of the filler to come off because I like where it's at. And regardless, like I said, the epoxy will cover down to a 180 grit, so it's all done in 220, so we should be more than good. And yeah, I just didn't want to take more off and ruin the body work that I already did. It looks spotty as hell, but it's only a little bit of filler everywhere though, because you can, I mean, pretty much see through it. It's not like we're fucking trying to recreate body lines, you know what I'm saying? It's just enough to fill in the little dents and dimples that we have, and that's pretty much it. I also got the front bumper to do, but we're closing in, man, because after this we just got to spray epoxy again, sand that down with 320, spray high build primer over that, sand that down, and then that gets us ready for paint. So we're closing in, man, and this is a good step towards it. I'm super happy with how it came out, man. Many hours went into it, but yeah, this is where we're gonna leave it off though. A lot of good work happened in this video. I'm glad I was able to share it with you guys. Hopefully you guys learned something along the way as well. But yeah, we'll see you on the next one. Peace.